Welcome, interwebs, to the taping, whatever it's called, of episode 18 of Sis and Big Pop's Culture. I am
Yeah.
Big Pop, also known as Todd Turner, and at Mosaic Fan Art. I had to use the at
Sorry.
symbol.
I'm
That's all
giggling
right.
at you. I'm
That's
sorry.
okay.
I'm
That's what I
sorry.
am on all the socials.
You are. That's
And
facts.
you
Hashtag
are?
facts. I'm Hannah Jo, aka Sis. And together we are adult daughter and father duo. We dive into all things geek, nerd, and fandom. Each episode is family friendly.
That's exactly right. Family friendly.
Woo-woo. We have a
No
lot of things
twist.
we're
I
going
have
to be
so much
talking about.
news.
Dad has a lot of
Yeah.
news, which is good because I have zero piece. That's not true.
And we
I
don't
have a
wanna
little bit. No, I'm here for your news, Dad. I have
Well,
a
I don't
little
want
pieces
to
of news.
inundate everyone with news.
We're going to talk about what we're binging. We're not forgetting that this time. We are going to talk about your pull list. And we didn't read a comic book again this week. Instead, we are going to talk about the fan-made film Static. Dad has a lot more information about that than I do. So Big Pops is going to get into that for us. And then, because we're recording this on the championship day, or the big game, if you will, because there are so many rules
Super
about what
Bowl.
you are and aren't allowed to call the Super Bowl, and you get fined for it if you say it in certain
A friend of
things.
mine posted a meme and called it the superb owl.
The Superb Owl.
And it had like
So
an owl with the glasses on it. It was really cute.
we
Instead of the Super
have
Bowl.
we have it's a Turner family favorite film.
We own it.
We
own it.
And we're going to talk about that. And then at the very end of the episode, as usual, we
Did
have
you
some
say the name of it?
spoilers. No, I didn't. It's going to be a surprise when we get
Okay,
there.
surprise. But it won't be a surprise because people are going to see it in the liner notes.
I guess that's
It's okay. Surprise!
surprise.
Don't read the notes.
and some spoilers for WandaVision episode 5 at the very end.
There you go.
Start
So
us off
now
with your
it's
news,
time
Dad.
for Nerd News.
Ba-doop.
Did you see where HBO Max has a show coming out in April called The Nevers?
I watched that commercial.
I didn't see the commercial.
The
But
commercial looks phenomenal.
So it's women in the Victorian age that have
Yes.
superpowers in like England or something, right?
They are like
Votes for
mutants.
women.
They're
Votes
like
for
mutants or
women.
something, and it's like people want to like kidnap them and like murder them.
Oh, that's not good.
I didn't
Yeah.
know a kind way to say that.
Stop them from existing.
Stop. That's worse, maybe.
Is it really?
I don't
Okay,
know.
gotcha.
But
Yeah,
it
so-
looks really cool, and like the women in this thing, man, like they're ready to go off. Period.
So like this takes place during the same time as the same time period as like when Mary Poppins was.
Mhm.
That's why I did the votes for women thing. So
It makes
women
me
have a
think of-
very low status,
Mhm.
social status.
Yeah,
right?
it makes me think of that the blah, 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 Carnival Row or something like that.
Oh, I
The
never saw
Amazon
that.
Prime. I
Gotcha.
started watching it, and like while I was at the gym, because I like to, as a way to encourage myself to go to the gym, I only watch a certain TV show at the gym.
Gotcha.
And I chose that one. That was poor choice. That was a poor choice to show.
You never went back to the gym
I
again.
never went back to the gym. But I still haven't watched She-Ra because She-Ra is my gym show, and so She-Ra has
Gotcha.
concluded, and I still I don't know what happened because it's
Nice.
what I watch when I'm on the elliptical.
There you go. We got to get back in the gym.
I gotta get back in the gym.
Yeah, I saw
Okay,
that.
yeah,
thought
but
that-
I saw that commercial. It looks really cool. It's definitely for grown-ups. This is not a little
Yeah.
kid show. It's MA on HBO Max. So you would like HBO tends to be more for like grown-up type things. But I think it looks really cool. I'm excited about it.
So, we'll just go with the HBO Max stuff. Snyder Cut officially is rated R.
Yes, that's what you said. I'm not surprised by that. Are you surprised by that?
No, I'm not surprised. I mean, I guess I sort of am because if it was going to be a theatrical release, then yes, I would be completely surprised. But this isn't theatrical, so who are they really trying to get to watch the show? I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
I saw where
we're all gonna watch it anyways.
an actor, I can't remember his name, who I liked, who was in Fringe. No, not Fringe. He's in a Blacklist. the guy who's in charge, like the FBI and the Blacklist, he did stop action motion capture for Martian Manhunter. So that character was never in. So that's a character that they're
But he
just
was
throwing
in
in
that. He
there.
was in the Supergirl show.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a different actor. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. But did you have something about HBO this month that is kid friendly that's coming out
I
this
forget.
February?
I don't know.
Tom and Jerry.
Oh yes, Tom and Jerry's coming out the 19th.
Yeah, so it's in theater and
I'm still a bit
HBO
confused about how
streaming.
that's going. Is that an animated film or is that a real life person film?
It's both. It's
So Tom and
it's
Jerry are
an
animated.
yep.
Oh, I'm here for that.
And the girl that was Hit Girl, I can't remember what her name is,
I'll Google it.
but she's in it as well. So she's like the main human person star in it. So
Human person star.
listen, I used to watch
Oh,
Tom and
Chloe
Jerry
Grace.
cartoons. There
I
you
like
go.
her.
Yeah, I didn't know
She's
what
in
her
a
name
lot of
was.
stuff.
Yeah, I just those old Tom and Jerry cartoons, they couldn't get away with them now. I used to watch them growing up, and they are not necessarily
They're
politically
violent.
correct nowadays. Not just violent. Well, hello, not like Camp Cretaceous. I guess. I
They're the
guess.
worst.
I guess if the cartoons are sort of they're cartoony, it doesn't seem it. But when you make the dinosaurs and the people look real, I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting back off on that again.
That show, man, we're still salty about it.
I know it.
That's funny.
Did you have anything else on your news? I've got
Dad,
thousands, but I'm just not going
that
to go with
sad
it
piece
all.
of news that happened this week.
Oh, Christopher Plummer passed
Yeah,
away.
he passed away this week.
So most people know him as
Captain Von Trapp.
mhm,
Very
um,
sad.
91 years old.
Oh, he
So
lived a long time. That's good.
also the movie Knives Out that was so huge.
Was he
Um,
the old guy in Knives Out?
yes,
No
yes,
way.
absolutely.
Dad,
So
I
I got
didn't
on.
know.
I went to look into the third oracle, as we call the IMDb, and just to look and see, like, oh, what's his filmography look like?
The
Well,
third oracle.
217 things as an actor.
Wow.
I mean, the guy's been in everything.
That's accomplished.
Um, he's also the great grandfather in National Treasure. Do you remember that? When when young Nicolas Cage is up in the attic and his grandpa's up there with him.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm with you now. I was like, no, he's not. He's not the dad. I know who the dad is, and that's not who he is.
So, if you're a nerd, you know him as General Chang from Star Trek Six: The Undiscovered Country,
Mm.
and that he was fantastic in that movie.
I didn't watch that. I'm just like nodding my head, like yes.
Okay,
Star
here's the
Trek
deal: Star
6.
Trekkers will know that every even-numbered Star Trek is worth watching. 2, 4, and 6. So there's to it.
Is that true about the new Star Trek
I don't know.
with Chris Pine? The second one was
No.
God.
The second, I don't know. The problem with the new ones were that you don't have enough time for this new generation to be vested in the characters created. So we had Star Trek from the 60s up until, with Kirk and still around. So I think that's it. When in Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan, when
We
Spock
watched
dies,
that. It's
when Spock
sad.
dies,
Cried.
I'm invested. I cry. I saw it in the theater and cried, but I'm a crier at movies. So
Yeah, we
there you go.
weep.
Okay,
We
here's
are
something. File
weepers.
this under we don't need it.
Okay, ready.
Filed
Got my
under
filing
don't
system
need it.
open.
Gotcha. So they're making a movie based off the Uno game.
But why?
I don't know, and it stars some rapper named Little Yakety or Little Yacky or Lil. I'm probably sure it's Lil, not Little, but
Oh, Daddy.
I don't know. Yeah, that's what I heard.
It makes me think of that like Pixels movie.
Never saw it.
Oh, I watched it. Don't do it. Don't watch it. Not
I
worth
don't
it.
know.
Not
Well,
worth
but it's not based off of a Uno game. I mean,
No,
I'd rather
but
watch
Pac-Man
a
is there.
Candyland game. I'd rather watch a Candyland game than an Uno game. At least there's a purpose to Candyland. You
well,
know,
maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised because like
Draw
Jumanji
4,
was really
Draw
good.
2. Yeah, but Jumanji was a story that they made a game out of.
I mean, I guess that's true.
This is a game that you basically just match numbers and colors, and they're going to make a movie. I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
Okay, that is I'm with you. Perhaps that will. Oh, Dad, the
What?
Battleship movie.
That could have been better.
Do you remember the Battleship movie? Oh
Yeah.
no.
Listen. I have a friend whose son used to love that as a kid, and he would watch it every time it came on. Me, I couldn't get through it at all. Like
And
there's
they're
swimming
like they're like
singer in
jump.
it.
The things are like jumping. Are they jumping or are they swimming? I can't
I
remember.
don't know.
That was wild. That
Yeah,
movie
there's
was
like a singer in that.
wild.
What's her
It
name?
was Rihanna.
Gotcha. And then Taylor Kitsch, is that his name? The guy that no.
Dad, the coolest part about that is that
I
they
don't know who
have
was
to
in
get
that.
this old like battleship out of the harbor, and they have to like have people who were in the military a long time ago help them.
No, that would be neat. But I
That was
never
the
watched it.
coolest part about that movie. And Dad, I've seen it so many years ago, I might be lying. I might be remembering the wrong movie. And so if I am, friends, have grace with me. Perhaps I remembered
Hey,
that incorrectly.
um, I've got a lot. Lord of the Rings is in IMAX for this month, even though there are no IMAX theaters open. You can
There,
watch the Lord of the Rings in IMAX 4K, whatever.
but I
I
wanna
know. I
watch
don't
it.
understand the purpose of that. Like, where would you even see that? Do we even have an IMAX open around us?
The only IMAX that I know of, and this is
Was the
because
one
I
in
lived in
Newport?
Indiana, was the one in Indiana.
Said you're not in Indiana?
I'm not in Indiana.
Well, that I didn't know. I know there was one in Newport down with the levee, but I don't even know if it's still open. So, oh well,
Well, I haven't been to watch a movie in a long time.
I know it. Also, did you
I
know
miss
there's
it.
there's a rapper named Lil Uzi Verdi or whatever that has a $24 million pink diamond put in his head. Did you hear that? Did you see that?
No, I
Yes,
didn't.
$24 million, so he can look like the Vision.
That was a poor choice.
I know. Now, like, would somebody just like take his head? You know, like
Excuse me,
it's
I'm going to rob you by taking your head.
like
No.
Thanos would just pull it out. This is family
Oh,
friendly. We do.
um, uh, Mona H says that you can rent for small groups. Louisville IMAX.
Oh, well, that might be something fun to do. And that a
That would
lot of
be
movie
so
theaters
fun.
are doing that. That you could rent out a movie theater. I know in Lexington, where close to where I live, they were doing that, like $100 for up to. I think you could
Like
have
20 people or
25
something,
people or something. So
which is
that's
nothing.
I know it.
Like to go to a
So
movie theater, 20 to take 25 people to a movie theater
as long as you do it correctly, we
would
don't
be
want to
like a
violate
couple
any
$100.
COVID restrictions. That would be a stinker.
Yeah, follow your rules in your state, pals, or country,
Um,
wherever it is you are.
we briefly, you and I talking about Pacific Rim because we started talking about Godzilla and all that kind of
So
stuff.
good.
Netflix has an anime coming out.
A Pacific Rim anime.
Yes, it's called the Black Anime Series. I saw that. I don't know when, but
When's it? Oh,
I
Dad,
don't know, but it's out there on the limb. And
I want to watch it.
I had one more piece of news,
Okay,
and
bring
this
it on.
is for the Dungeons and Dragons fans that are adulty. There
Hmm.
is a campaign. Explain what a campaign is, Hannah.
So in Dungeons and Dragons, there's a dungeon master who's in charge of creating like this world for the people that are playing the game. And the dungeon master creates like a campaign that the group of players or the adventuring party, if you will, goes on in their head.
They have to complete it.
Yeah.
Right.
And there are like certain things that might happen. Like a campaign can last, like you can do just a one shot campaign that lasts like a couple hours, or like there are some groups who play Dungeons and Dragons for years and years and years with the same characters in the same campaign.
So this thing is, I think it's going to be 7 episodes. It's called The Stuff of Legends, and it is 4 people and a dungeon master,
Okay.
and two of them are actors. One is a comedian, and one is like a podcast YouTube celebrity, and they are playing Dungeons and Dragons, which is really good.
Who's
One
the
of the
podcast YouTube celebrity?
I can't remember. You'd have to look it up.
What's it
Um,
called again?
it's called The Stuff of Legends. And what they're doing is the fun thing about this. Now, it's definitely for adults,
Okay.
um, uh, high school to adults. Um, it's got potty humor and stuff like that, if you know what I'm talking about. And the big bad words, if they say them, they're bleeped out.
Mm.
And so they're doing this campaign, but the fun thing is that when they do an action or when their characters talk and do things, they have puppets that act it out. It
Where's this
is
at? Where can we watch it?
on YouTube,
Oh,
and they're
it's
putting
free.
it's free. It is a YouTube, and they're putting out
That's
an
so
episode every
cool.
week. So they have a trailer out, and the first episode dropped February the 2nd. I
That's
watched
so
it. It was like
fun.
30 minutes, I think. And in the first campaign, they have to go
The first campaign
get
or the first episode?
the first episode. They have to
Okay.
go to a place in the town to get some information. They get attacked by a group of goblins.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty fun. It's funny listening to the different characters.
That's so
Um,
fun. I love listening to people or watching people play Dungeons and Dragons.
yes.
Like it's so
Yeah.
much fun.
Well, this is really fun. Not only that, because the action that happens is puppets, which is it is so cool.
That's awesome.
So if you like Dungeons and Dragons and you're a high schooler or above, this is something fun for them.
Yay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have
That's
to watch
it.
it. Yay, that's
That's
so
all
fun.
I got for the news.
Okay. What are you binging right now,
News.
Dad?
I'm not really binging,
Yeah?
honestly. It has been. I did finish my Dune on CD, my 18
You
CD
did.
Dune, and guess what? It
Fun.
ended just like I thought it would in the
It
book.
ended just like you thought it would. That's
Absolutely.
funny. How many times have you read that book?
I've
ended-
only read that book.
It ended just the way that I thought it would.
Yeah, I only read the book once,
That was really
but
funny.
I've seen the different movies multiple times on it. So
I
yeah.
thought you've read that book multiple times.
no, that I haven't read it multiple times. The
What's
book
that
is
book
like
that you read multiple times? You have that sci-fi
don't
book
know.
that you read a lot.
the Dune book is like super thick. I wish you could see how thick it is, but literally my book is about 2 inches
3
thick.
fingers.
Yeah. So there you go. That's what I
Hmm.
did. I haven't been binging a lot. I've been playing a lot of music downstairs. Yeah.
That's
Off of the
fun.
Love Thy Nerd radio station, which you can get online. There you go. Shout out to Love Thy Nerd. What about you? What are you binging?
I again, Big Bang Theory. Not very many episodes this week, just a couple. Still on season
Gotcha.
11, almost done with the entire run of the Big Bang Theory, which is wild to me. I started watching the show with my friend Emily called Firefly Lane. It is for grown-ups, friends. It's on Netflix and it is for grown-ups. And
Gotcha.
it's about 2 females who are in like 2 adult females in friendship. And my friend was like, let's just watch this together. And so I went
Oh,
over to her
yeah?
house and we watched a couple episodes and it was kind of sad, to be honest. Like, it was just sad.
I don't need sad.
Jason S says that he and his family are watching The Mandalorian.
Ooh, we are all
And
for the Mandalorian.
we stand The Mandalorian in this house.
Okay, so we're going to talk about this at the end. I
Okay,
can't
what?
talk about it.
What?
No, can't talk about it. Can't talk
Daddy,
about it.
Is
Not
it
allowed.
a spoiler?
It's a spoiler, so we won't talk
Oh,
about
okay.
it. Anyway,
Okay.
okay.
I'm really excited
So
about
yeah,
whatever
other than
spoiler
that
it
is
Yay.
other than that, I'm still hitting the Batman animated series, which I love. I can't talk higher about it. It's
That's so
fantastic.
fun.
I want to. Okay, so here's the deal. Me and these TV shows, if I get to where I'm like, I don't want to watch them because I don't want them to end, or because something happens and I don't like it, and I just drop
we do
off.
that. Dad,
So,
do you know that me and you do that?
like, I haven't
have-
watched any of The Expanse this season.
I
at
haven't
all.
either. I haven't finished the last season of The Expanse because I didn't want it to be over. It came
was
out.
Good. It was good. I like the end.
I haven't finished it. Ugh, we love that show.
Mhm.
What
But it's
else
for
haven't I
adults
finished?
as well. Oh, I started Venom and quit it immediately. Speaking of Carnage, but anyway, that's about it.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah,
I never
So-
finished Firefly.
you should be shot.
I still have an episode of
Just in
Firefly
the
because
kneecap.
if I watch it, it will be over and there will be no more.
This past week, my small group talked about the significance of Shepherd Book, who is the preacher that flies around with these heathens. And at one point, the 2 of the crew members are going to go in to save the captain, and they go down, and the preacher, Shepherd Book, is getting the weapons ready, guns, and handing them over. And the second in command is like, preacher, doesn't the good book say have anything to say about not killing? And he says, the good book is quite specific about not killing. It is, however, a little fuzzier on the subject of kneecaps. And that's how we talked about that in my small group.
Fuzzy on
So
the subject of
the
kneecaps.
kneecaps, isn't that great?
Daddy.
Yeah, so that's it. That's all I'm watching. I did go back and start rewatch Firefly because my small group talked about it. There you go.
Firefly's
So I'll
so
watch it again just
good.
for you. Yeah.
So good. Yeah, because I remember
All
the
right.
first time I went to watch it, I was like, Dad, I'm getting ready to watch this movie, and I'm watching it, and I don't
Don't
understand
watch
half
the
thing
movie.
that's going on. And you were like, stop watching the movie immediately, press pause and stop. And I was like, oh no, okay.
Yeah. Never watch the movie.
I didn't know. I didn't know. It was just funny.
Although there's
It's
a lot of people that
funny.
like the movie. I know, but
Okay.
the movie should always be watched last. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Um,
I tell people watch Batman animated series if you like animated cartoons. If you like
Uh.
superhero cartoons, it's fantastic.
if anybody knows anything mindless that I can watch and not have to pay attention to while I'm knitting, at me.
Pretty much that's what I do because I get
Let me
when I'm
know.
working on my mosaics, I usually have something playing in the background.
I like funny things
Mhm.
that I don't have to think about.
There you go.
Love
Whoop, whoop.
Hannah.
Love Hannah.
Okay.
You should watch the old He-Man cartoon. That's
Well, if I'm gonna watch the old He-Man cartoon, I'm
you
gonna
may as
watch
well watch
She-Ra.
She-Ra. Yeah, there you go. All right.
She-Ra and the Princesses of Power.
Are we ready for comic books?
Yeah, Dad. What's on your pull list?
So
Oh, wait. For those of you
What?
who don't know, a pull list. A pull list is something that occurs at your local comic book shop. Local comic LSC.
LCS.
LCS.
LCS, yo.
Local.
Comic
Yeah, no,
shop.
you're right. You're right. I was like,
Thank you.
C and S. Those two
I-
letters got stuck in my
I
head.
do initials good. I do
I
initials
don't.
good.
I
I
don't.
do them good.
I do not. Okay.
I good with initials.
Okay, we back. Okay.
Full
Local comic
list.
book shop. You go and you, the proprietor of your local comic book shop, you give them a list of comic books or certain things that you're interested in, and they pull those things from their inventory before placing them on the shelves. So you have a stack of lovely comic books to pick up whenever they come out. That way you don't miss an issue and have a continual arc in whatever
There you go.
story you may be reading. Also, if your local proprietor of your comic book shop knows you and loves you well, perhaps they will pull things for you that they think you might enjoy.
Exactly. And Scott does that for me here at Scott's Comic Relief in Mount Sterling, Kentucky. Check out Scott. Anyway, so of course, DC Future State is they're inundating with titles. I'm starting to get DC Future State logged down. Blah.
Okay. Is it just
They're-
for this month? I thought it wasn't for forever.
2 months. 2 months.
Okay, so it's January, February.
Yes. So
Okay.
this is the DC Future State is the something has happened in the DC universe, and now we're seeing what happens in future universes of the DC corner. So 3 titles that I got that were worth getting were the conclusion of the Wonder Woman story that I told before. I really
Yes.
like that.
You really like it.
Her name is I think her name is Yara Flor is what the
Okay.
character's name is, who's Wonder Woman. And actually the good thing about the story ended very well. A good story. I don't want to give it away. But the good thing is that she's going to get her own series in May. It's
Oh,
going to be
is she
called
still going to be Wonder Woman, or is it going to be
Wonder
something else?
Girl. Wonder Girl.
Wonder Girl. She did look
Mhm.
younger than Wonder Woman.
She is young. She is. But she's
Like she
gonna
looked
get,
my age, younger maybe.
exactly. Yeah. The funny thing is that the way she talks is definitely a younger generation talk. In this issue, she's being chased by like these hounds of hell or whatever.
Uh-oh.
And she has to get on the boat to cross the river to the whatever, the Death River or whatever.
I mean, yeah,
So-
like in
so,
Greek
like-
mythology or whatever.
Yeah, so you know how the guy, the boat
Yeah.
rower or whatever is like a skeleton or whatever.
Yeah.
She like grabs his arm and rips off the bones of his arms and basically takes the arms, waves the bone around and throws it, and the dogs go chasing it.
Oh,
to keep-
no.
That's sort of, she goes, sorry, can I borrow this for a bit? And she tosses it and the dogs are like, instead of chasing her, they go after the bones. It's funny.
I mean, that's called thinking on your feet.
Yeah, it is. So it was
That's
good.
what that's
I enjoyed
called.
it. I also got the end of the Swamp Thing book that we talked about,
Yep.
where the character name is Floronic Man was trying to bring about the end of all. He was going to pull a matrix. He's going to blot out the sun so that plants can't live, because that helps humans.
Why?
What does that mean? That's dumber than a box of rocks.
Why?
But he's been scorned by humans and plants. So what ends up happening is he creates the bomb to block out the sun or whatever, but the Swamp Thing grows to where he's so big that he grows up above it. And he just basically lives there for generations upon generations upon generations. And the surviving people live at his roots until it clears away. And so it's an interesting book. I liked it.
Dad.
What?
I have to pause you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Mona H says, Uncle Mike says it's the River Styx.
Yes, there you go. The River Styx. Exactly. Thank you. The River Styx.
I knew that too. We knew that.
Did, but I just can't get words out. The older I get, the harder it is to find those words. I have so many words in my brain. I have to go through the Rolodex, and I can't get to
Rolodex.
like A B C D E F G H I J K. I just forget. I skip going to S. See, there you go. It's not ACDC or something, whatever. So anyway, the new book that I liked from DC Future State was Shazam. It's very interesting. They keep calling him Billy, and he keeps telling them, "Don't call me Billy." So something's going on there with Billy? Shazam. I don't know. You come to find out that Billy and Shazam have been separated, and like Billy is somewhere doing. Anyway, it's a good story. I suggest getting it. The rest of the other.
Okay.
Go. Don't tell me.
Okay.
What were you going to say?
Is it like the Thor that we read?
Where they're separated?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Billy's not bad. No, he did this on purpose to help save something.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm driving with
not
you.
Not like the Thor comic book where they leave Dr. Blake there for years upon years and he goes bonkers.
Big yikes.
Yeah. So, yeah, there you go. So I picked up a couple new things.
Yeah.
One is called Kaiju Score. It's up to 3 issues. My store had issues 1, 2, and 3, and I got them all 3 and read them. It is really good. So this is basically takes place in a world where Godzilla type monsters or Pacific Rim type monsters.
Yeah, the kaiju.
Yeah, you get basically a weather report about them because they do landfall there, and the government has specific protocols for when a kaiju comes to land, what happens when different kaiju are around. So this follows a failed robber who this is his final score. Everything he does, something bad happens. Like he forgets, like he turns left instead of right. And so he gets two other people to come along with him to rob an art museum during the middle of a kaiju landing in Florida.
In Florida?
Yeah, it's in Florida.
Of course it happens in Florida.
And
that's phenomenal.
This comic book is really good. The art is fantastic. Now, this is for adults.
Grown-ups,
They do use some language, which is sad because if they get rid of the language,
kids would like it.
It is good.
Fun.
It does have a little bit of
Are we going to read this one?
Treachery. Maybe when it all comes out, it might be something we can talk about. That would be fun.
That would be
But
fun.
it's up to issue 3 right now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so you're getting an interplay between there's one character, they call him the Black Cat or Broken Mirror because it seems like
he's unlucky.
Bad. Oh, yeah. And then there's a girl who's a safecracker who really isn't the safecracker. She's posing as the safecracker. So,
she can't actually make us.
Well, we're going to find out.
Ooh,
I think it's so. Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
That's fun.
I'm going to bring up the Avengers because they're in the middle of a thing called Enter the Phoenix. They are trying. The Phoenix is who, if you
like
guys
Jean
have seen
Grey,
that,
the Phoenix.
Yeah, that trashy movie. That don't watch it.
What movie are you? Which one are you talking about? X-Men 3? Or are you talking about Days of Future Past?
I'm talking about the last X-Men movie that came out. That
the Apocalypse
the Phoenix
one.
Was in. No, after that even.
I don't.
Good. See, you shouldn't even have it in your memory because it was horrible. But the Phoenix, Jean Grey, the Phoenix, right?
Yes. Okay.
So the
Avengers
Phoenix is trying to find a new host for the Phoenix.
Oh,
and they are basically having the Avengers fight each other to find out who the host is going to be. And I'm starting to get a little bit just get on with it. Okay. Just get on. I'm tired of it. Just get on with it. The best part about this is that Captain America knows that the Phoenix is deep down. It's not good. So he tries to throw his fight and let Shang-Chi, the master of Kung Fu, win. And the Phoenix knows it and it gives him the win. Captain America gets the win. Even though, so basically, it was a good way to find, a good way to say nobody won that match. Like, can Shang-Chi beat Captain America? We don't know now because Captain America tried to lose and the Phoenix wouldn't let him. So Prince Namor has won, and I don't know, who knows. Black Panther has won. We're whittling them down, but this is part 3. I just want to get on with it. I want it to be done. I'm getting tired of these
I can
crossovers.
sense how that would get old.
I am a Marvel fan through and through, but all of these tie-ins with
we
King
talked
in
about
Black
that a couple times
couple
ago.
of them are good, but after 4 months, 5 months of it, it's just I'm ready for different stories.
You get it seems like you get fatigued with the amount of comic books you have to buy too.
Not that. If the story was good in each one, like the Black Cat tie-in is really good. The second issue of Gwenom versus Carnage, the Gwen came out and it was okay.
Okay.
But it
So
seemed like it was just a lot of filler. I mean, you could have told everything they told in that issue in like one panel. It was just eye candy, I guess.
Gotcha. That sucks.
So really my favorite Marvel title right now is Strange Academy, which we talked about last week.
Yeah, so still a Strange Academy fan.
So I bought another new book called Spectre Inspectors by Boom Studios. And it looked on the front like it was going to be like a type of a Scooby-Doo-ish. Not that it was going to be cartoony, but it was going to be young kids trying to solve ghost mysteries. And it got dark really quick towards the end. And I was like, oh, this is definitely, because I always thought the Boom box was like it for a younger. But
wait,
this is,
so it's like it's Boom Studios, but it's Boom Box by Boom Studios.
Correct.
So kind of like DC Black Label.
Well, but this is supposed to be for a younger audience.
Okay.
But I'm not convinced it's for a younger audience.
Okay.
But
okay.
If you like horror comics,
nope.
I think it's going to be good. But if I'd have to choose a horror comic right now, it would be Homesick Pilots.
Yeah, I was going to say it wouldn't be this one. It would be Homesick Pilots.
So I don't have a lot of positive things to say about that.
2 weeks ago.
So there.
Dope.
That's my pull list.
I am really, the couple that I'm interested in that you talked about, I don't think I would want to read the Avengers and the Phoenix, but I think it will be cool to figure out who becomes the Phoenix and how that is resolved. That seems interesting. The Kaiju score sounds amazing.
Yeah, that's probably
I want to read
the funnest.
The funnest.
Yeah. And it would be a fun movie.
That's what I was thinking too. I really was just like, I actually just want to watch it. Like, I want to, that would be a dope, like, 6-episode miniseries. You know, like a limited series on Netflix or something like that. Like, I'd watch that.
Absolutely.
That would be so fun.
I don't know how long. I'm guessing it's only going to be about 5 or 6 issues. So
cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
awesome.
the pull list.
Yeah.
So let's introduce, since we're on comics, let's introduce the world to a comic book character that many people aren't familiar with.
I had never heard of this person before in my entire life.
So this character, also, since this is Black History Month, we thought it would be cool to introduce the world to some superheroes, villains, creators of color that many people don't know. So this is one of them called Static. Static was a comic book that came out in the 90s under a DC label called Milestone Comics. And that the cool thing about Milestone Comics is that it was basically just characters of color. So this was like in 93, created by a guy named Dwayne McDuffie, who passed away last year. The big thing on DC, when DC had their big DC Fandom Day back in August or September or whatever, they announced that they were going to re-release Milestone books this month.
Have they started doing that yet?
I ain't heard nothing about it.
Really?
Nothing at all.
I'm going to Google while you talk.
No. You don't even have to Google because I checked and could not find anything about it. So, let me give you some background on Static. Static is named Virgil Hawkins. The interesting thing was his name was chosen after a black man who was denied entrance to the University of Florida's law school due to his race in 1949 by the
Wow.
same name.
Virgil.
Yeah, I didn't
Okay.
know that. Virgil Hawkins, same guy. So Virgil is 15 years old, lives in a fictional city called Dakota City. He is, like I said, 15. So this character, believe it or not, was created what they thought was going to be to sell to Marvel. And it
Really?
ended up, it ended up at DC. So they basically chose Spider-Man as a template. Oops.
Oh, okay. So like a teenage boy
A teenage boy through
in a
school
city.
dealing in a city, dealing with the things that
Teenage boys deal with.
An African American high school student would have to deal with in
Yeah.
inner city. And so he is bullied at school by a
Mhm.
gang member, and he goes to this gang. Basically, it's going to be a gang fight, and he goes there to seek revenge. Basically, what
Mhm.
happens is the police are there. They bust it up. They like spray them with some. It's supposed to be like a something that can tag people so that they couldn't flee arrest. That way
Mhm.
they could like scan them and say this person was here, that person was there. Well, it
Yeah.
ended up having, anytime you get sprayed with radioactive material in a
In a
comic
comic
book,
book,
guess
you
what?
are you have powers now.
And they called that the Big Bang.
Mhm.
That was called the Big Bang. I think it was called quantum juice or something. I don't know. So anyway,
It was
Virgil,
confusing.
Virgil ends up getting electromagnetic powers,
Mhm.
and so he can like control electromagnetic forces. He shoots electricity, sort of like. In the comic, he flew around. He on a manhole cover.
That's
He
so
would
cool.
like instead of like a surfer or whatever, he would electrify that, and he would allow him to go through there.
Like surf, like a
Mhm.
hoverboard.
Yeah, sort of like that.
Cool.
Exactly. So he would fly through town, Dakota City or whatever. So he's been a member of he's had his own cartoon, which you can't watch anywhere. I
Yeah,
tried to
I tried
find
to find it and I couldn't find it.
only thing you can do is get bits and nuggets through YouTube, but
Hmm.
it's not even available on HBO. They own all this stuff. I mean, he was part of Young Justice and the Teen Titans. Um, and right now we're just waiting. They've talked about a live action movie. Michael B. Jordan was
Oh, that would
signed
be
on for it.
so cool.
That was a year ago during the whole DC fandom thing, and we're
I
just
haven't heard
in
anything since
limbo.
then. We're just kind of
Nothing at
waiting to
all.
see if that's happening or not at this point.
Exactly. I'm afraid that the whole COVID thing has really put a damper on all of that. But
Yeah,
I'm
that
sure
sucks.
they wanted to make some big announcements during the month of February, but maybe they will. I couldn't find any information about it.
Yeah.
Um, so Hannah and I watched a fan-made film called
Yeah.
Static Shock. It was
Mhm.
made in 2019 on a $3,000 budget,
Mhm.
and it's like 40 minutes long
Yeah.
about static.
Mhm. Is
So
his name Static Shock or is his name Static?
his name is Static. They
This
call it
entire
Static
time
Shock.
I've been calling him Static Shock in my head. But his
Yeah.
his superhero name is just Static.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
I'm here for that. I just was calling him the wrong thing.
Well, in the comic books,
My
they call him
bad.
Static. They may call him Static Shock to kidify the cartoons because they
Gotcha.
did, give him a fancy schmancy suit and all that jazz for the cartoon to make
But
him
he
more
didn't really have
appealable,
a suit or any
more appealing to younger kids.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
So
what?
we watched that 40
It's on
minute.
YouTube.
Yeah,
It's
it's on
available
YouTube.
on YouTube.
Again, fan made. So it was phenomenal for a fan made film on that kind of budget. Like I was afraid that the like powers would look hokey, but it didn't to me. Like it
Right.
seemed like the
But they
powers kind
didn't.
of like the way
They
that
didn't
he did it
utilize
made
all of his
sense.
powers, though. They did the best they could with the budget they had.
Yeah.
I mean, there's one episode, there's one part in it where I guess he's flying through the air, but you just see like a little line go through the air and some guy pointing at him. Do you remember that?
I
That was
don't
like
remember
really
that.
bad. That was bad. That was bad. But I mean, what can you do? You can't. You have for $3,000. How are you going to make a dude float on a manhole cover?
You're
Or,
not.
but they made this a little grittier
Mm-hmm.
than a 1993. Granted, that's 30 years ago,
Yeah.
right?
It felt gritty. It was interesting for me to watch. Yeah, it was interesting to watch. I'm not quite 100% sure what I think about it and how I enjoyed it and stuff like that.
Hmm.
What Dad and I were talking about is that it was very much like, it was very much for me, like, not a culture that I'm a part of. And it
Right.
was
Well,
weird to, and I'm glad to watch it. I'm
we're
glad that
country
that was an,
folk anyway. We don't live in inner city.
no. So
Mm-mm.
there were a lot of like things that Virgil was experiencing that I've never experienced and that I probably won't experience.
Right.
And so it was beautiful in that way to be able to like watch it and kind of understand, or not understand, but like see someone
Right.
else's like perspective and experience.
The
It
one thing that you
was,
can was his relationship with his dad.
yeah. Ugh.
It was a strained relationship, but
Ugh.
that was sad. I didn't.
It was so sad.
I.
It made sense
But
to me. It made sense to me why it would be strained because the father is running for, there's like some like politics stuff that's going on there.
Mhm.
The dad is running for mayor, and then there's this rich guy who might have
Is
been behind
backing
the
the
Big
whole
Bang
thing.
anyway, and
Right.
who is like backing him, and they're like trying to figure out like the gang stuff, and one person wants him dead because he doesn't want him to be the mayor, and then the son is like, oh, I got to do all these things to stick up for myself and my people, and
And his
it was,
dad. Yeah. And then,
yeah,
but and some of the bad guys. Virgil knows them. They go to school together.
yeah,
So these kids are all got these powers at the same time, and they know one another. It's be like how the cliques are in high school anyway. Can you
yikes,
imagine? Let's give the
mean
all of
kid,
them superpowers.
hard pass,
And um so I think if you're a Static fan, you would really enjoy this. If you have never heard of Static before, I think you have to hear if you can make it past the first 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
um because it's hard when you don't know any background on a character and
Hmm.
you're just thrown into their universe. If you can do that, I think it's well worth watching. I mean, it's got over 1 million views on YouTube.
And it's good,
Yeah, yeah,
good.
absolutely. So
There's a quote from it at the very end that I want to read
read
because
it.
I
Yeah.
just, he said that and I had to pause and listen to it a couple different times. At the very end, the character Virgil, Static, says, nearly any man can stand adversary.
Every can
Nearly any man can
adversity.
stand adversity. I wrote adversary. I'm going to
Nice.
start
Let's
again.
start again. Start again.
Okay. Nearly any man can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power.
Ooh, that is good. I like that.
He said that at the very end, and I was like, okay, I see what you're doing. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It was,
So
I
that would
mean,
be
it was good.
cool.
I'm glad that we watched it. It was
Absolutely.
unlike
And I'm
anything
glad
I'd watched
DC
before.
hasn't said take it down. You know, I can
They're not
imagine
going to
they would.
say take it down. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
There like, weren't any even commercials for them to make any money off of it when I
At the
watched it.
beginning, oh, maybe there isn't. I didn't pay attention.
I
I'm so
didn't,
used to getting inundated with commercials from YouTube. I just
I
feel
don't
it's part of
remember,
it.
like, because usually, like, when you're watching, like, long videos like that, like, I
Oh, they'll
watch,
stop.
it'll stop
Yes.
and they'll, like, play a commercial
No,
or something like that.
this
There
did
were
not.
no commercials in the middle of the
No,
video. You just watched it straight through.
straight through. And on a $3,000 budget. They tell you the type of cameras they used and everything like that. And I thought, golly, that's pretty good for $3,000.
It was
Now,
really cool. I'm glad that we watched it.
I am too.
For
Yeah.
real.
Static. I just wish they'd bring his cartoons out so the people can watch them. But
Yeah.
they're not. And I wish they'd bring back Milestone because the characters were really good. All right. So, movie time.
Dad,
What?
this is a good movie.
I know.
Okay.
I forgot about it. Honestly, everything that was in it. So, we're talking about the 19. When did that come out?
Not 2000s.
For serious?
19? Dad, no.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Because you were young.
Nathan was alive, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. We're talking Game Plan. The movie Game Plan, starring The Rock and nobody else.
2007, the
That's what I said.
90s.
I didn't say 19. I said 19 and I didn't finish. It was 19 and 00 plus 107 years. Do your math. You didn't let
Dad,
me finish. You didn't let me finish the discussion. Okay. So we watched Game
Okay.
Plan because we're close to the Super Bowl, and if you're watching this, it's Super Bowl Sunday. So we thought, hey, let's
Woo!
watch a family film that's it's PG. That
Mhm.
so I started watching it, and I immediately off the bat I thought, who lets their kid get in a taxi by themselves? I'm
Okay.
like,
If you haven't seen this movie is Dwayne the
and if
Rock
you have seen
Johnson.
it, it is time to bring your kids who are now old enough in to watch this movie. Go back and watch it with your family. Go ahead,
It's
explain.
Joe. It's this character named Joe Kingman. He's a quarterback for the Boston Rebels.
Who loves the Elvis, the
And
king?
yeah, because his name's Kingman. And so he's
Yeah.
obsessed with Elvis. He is the king. Joe, Never Say No Joe, is like this
He's a
famous, like, bachelor kind of
mhm.
guy. He's living his high life, and then a child shows up at his door named Peyton. And Peyton is his biological child from a marriage that he had previously been in and didn't know about. He knew about the marriage. He didn't know about the child Peyton. And so
Mhm.
it's him learning how, it's Joe learning how to be a
A dad.
father, and
Mhm.
how to care for someone else that isn't himself,
Yes.
and all of the things that go into that. In the middle of championship season, they never say the Super Bowl, they only say the championship.
Yes, because they're not allowed to say the Super
Because they're
Bowl.
not allowed to
That's
say
so funny.
Super Bowl.
And his team is the Boston Rebels, not to be confused with the New England Patriots.
The
So,
Boston Rebels
um,
experience the heat.
I I had forgotten how much I liked this movie. I also had forgotten how much how much ballet was in the movie.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
I forgot about
The
the
ballet
ballet
scene.
teacher, the ballet scene. In one point, so the his daughter, you
Peyton.
come we just it's been out forever. So his daughter,
Her name's
um,
Peyton. I was just telling you what her name is.
not named after Peyton Manning, named after a Nobel Peace Prize winner, I think is what she said,
For medicine.
for medicine. So he Joe doesn't know that his former wife had passed, and
Mm-mm.
actually he is told that his former wife's sister had passed,
Mm-hmm.
and that his former wife is in Africa doing like mission work of some kind,
Mm-hmm.
and which is not true. And Peyton is supposed to be at
A
a
ballet school.
ballet school that his ex sister in law sent her to.
Karen.
Karen sent her to, but Peyton is a smart little kid, and while she's being taken there, changes the destination and gets them to drop her
And the
off
car
at
service
her.
gets, yep.
Yep. And yeah, so there's that.
So she goes to the ballet, and
She ends up getting Joe to take her to a ballet
ballet
to be taught,
class,
so that
ballet
she can
school.
send pictures to Karen, so Karen thinks she's really there.
And while she's there, she gets to be a part of the ballet journey and gets to
And
dance. And Dwayne the Rock
in
Johnson
order
gets
to
to
do
dance
that,
too.
because she doesn't take new students in the middle of class in the middle of season, he has to promise to be part of the ballet, and he becomes Drosselmeyer and puts on a manzy onesie to dance for his daughter. Oh wait, I'm getting that confused with something I had to do for my own daughter. Yeah, so that happened.
Okay, for those of you who are like, what the heck is this dude talking about? I danced ballet for 11 years. I danced ballet for a very long time when I was a kiddo. And in the ballet studio that I went to, shout out to Miss J and Sterling Academy of Dance. We love that place. You love that place too, Dad.
I'm just saying.
Well, we did Nutcracker, and in Nutcracker, in the first act, is when they're at the party, and then it ends with the snow
Yes,
dance.
Uncle Drosselmeyer is the one who gives them
Drosselmeyer gives Clara the Nutcracker.
right.
And that's where all of this, the Nutcracker, like, even is.
Right. So I was asked, "Can you be Drosselmeyer?" And I was like, "Oh, please, I don't have to do this. Do I really?" Yeah, I said I'll do
Miss
it.
J was like, "Hey, would your dad be interested in being Drosselmeyer?" And I was like, "I'll talk
Okay.
to him about it."
Nobody told me I had to put on a onesie.
She was trying to be kind, and she bought you an outfit so you wouldn't have to buy your own costume. And
I would have
it was a
rather
It was a
buy
one.
my.
It was a one costume, and then the
So
next year, Dad was like, "I'll do it again, but I'm wearing what
I
I want
ain't
to
wearing.
wear."
I'm wearing what I want to wear, and I did.
There's a picture. There's a picture of
So
you wearing a
there is
top
a
hat
picture.
doing this.
We'll
Your
have to
hands
put
with your
that in
thumbs
with
up.
some of the. We'll have to
Me
put
and
that somewhere.
Drosselmeyer.
Stop it. So in the movie game plan, she gives The Rock this itty bitty outfit to wear, and
Well,
I kept
you have
looking
to
at
wear
it, going,
tights.
"I get it. I've been there, brother. I
Oh
feel
my
your pain."
goodness.
Um,
But there's this beautiful ballet scene
and
where
it's
they're
really
like,
good.
it's a nice ballet scene. They're
With
doing some
these
good
kids,
dancing.
young kids, and then
Hmm.
the teacher, and then his whole
Yeah.
football team is there, and the big tough lineman is
I'm
just
gonna
like,
look up
"This
his
is
name.
so beautiful," and he's crying and everything.
His name is Clarence in the in the movie.
He is the
Clarence.
first one to stand up and clap at
He's
the
like,
end.
and there's
Yeah,
like
the
tears
tears
streaming down his
crying.
face. He like doesn't say anything. He's like, should have said no.
So in the
That kinda thing.
movie, the daughter asks him questions, like 1,000 questions, um, uh, and the big question is, what's the most important thing that's ever happened to you? Is that what it is? What's the most the
What's
big
the
the
best
most
thing that
important
ever
the
happened to
best thing
you?
that ever happened to you was one of the questions in her book, and at the end, the aunt comes back, and um,
Well, there was
Peyton
a
has an allergic reaction
he
at a
accidentally
restaurant.
feeds her nuts, and she is
Is
allergic to
allergic to
nuts.
nuts, which is not funny. But previously, she
She had
gives him
fed him
cinnamon,
cinnamon.
and right before he goes to shoot a commercial, and he's like, "Cinnamon, I'm
I'm
allergic to
allergic.
cinnamon." So he's
Boston
trying to film
Webbles.
Bethel Webbles, experience the magic. So it's really fun watching The Rock. This is a young Rock when he had a little bit of hair.
Yeah,
But
he's got hair in this.
so basically they the football team falls in love with the daughter. He becomes a better dad.
He becomes a
There
better
is
man.
a better man. There is a wide receiver who plays for him who is a family man who sort of is the butt of some
Everybody's
jokes or
jokes
whatever.
at first.
But at the end, you realize that he's the real guy, and it has a lot of good. Comes back to him. You
Mhm.
know, it all comes together at the end, and
Stupid is a mean word, Mr. Cooper.
yes, and that's what Peyton tells one of the offensive linemen, and he's sort of the goofball of the whole bunch.
He's the one who doesn't know what's up.
He's like clueless. And that happens towards the end of the movie. One of the linemen for the opposing team calls
He's like, "What are you,
hits the
stupid or
quarterback. What are
something?"
you, stupid or something? And then he gets hit by Cooper. Cooper goes, "Stupid is a mean word." Did
It's
you realize
awesome.
he said it? I know.
It's awesome.
So this is a family fun movie.
Mhm.
There is reconciliation.
Mhm.
He loves his daughter. You come to find out Peyton is the best thing that ever happened to him. He didn't even
Oh,
know it.
so
And
sweet.
they end the movie with a montage of everyone singing
Hunka
Hunka
Burnin'
Burnin'
Love.
Love. Yeah. And it's really good. So I give this 4 bedazzled footballs.
5.
Well, for a family film, I'd give it 5, but for a film, it's like only got like 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. But
It's
under
not
the
a
Google
bad
reviews,
movie.
94% of people love it. I don't like. How does that even happen?
Well,
So
these are critics go into movies and are like, "This movie sucks." I'm like,
yeah,
you
it's a
have
great
no
movie.
sunshine in your heart.
It's a fun movie to watch, and it's a football movie. It's good for kids. The thing about it is, I imagine a lot of people have seen it 15 years ago and
Watch it again. It's cute
watch
still.
it with your family. It is
It's cute still.
PG, but it's harmless. I don't,
There's
I don't-
some like
I don't remember.
love
There's a cute
stuff.
bulldog. There's
There's
a bubble
like she
bath
gets
overflowing.
left a place
She gets left at a new restaurant / bar, which
at
is
and that
nightclub, I guess.
Yep, a nightclub.
So, but you don't see anything bad happen in it.
Mm-mm.
But
No.
yeah.
Yeah.
I say that because she bedazzles his. She uses a bedazzler and puts bedazzled gemstones all
No,
over
there's a
his.
bedazzle football on his like championship
Yes,
fancy
it's like his
football or
champion.
something.
Yeah, his fancy football. So
Funny.
yeah.
This movie came out when Sweet Life of Zach and Cody was still on Disney Channel.
Oh really?
This
That's
is
funny.
an old movie, Dad.
Yeah. So I'm here for it. You guys
I
should.
am too.
You guys should do it.
Okay.
Next week we are going to review The Princess and the Frog.
Yes. One of my favorites.
And we're going to talk about the comic book,
Star.
the other history of the DC universe. So
Down
yeah,
for it.
there you go.
I was getting ready to sing for you the Princess and the Frog song, but I stopped. I'll sing for it. I'll sing it for you next.
Made our one of the songs made our summer CD.
Yeah.
We got them all in here. Got them all in here.
And they all knew what you wanted. And the Down in New Orleans, that was a summer CD a couple years ago.
Yep, because we went to New Orleans.
Down in New Orleans.
So Hannah, today is the championship. Who are you picking?
The Boston Rebels.
Experience the heat.
Oh no.
Well, thank you guys for listening.
For our friends who are listening who don't want to be spoiled for WandaVision, now is the time for you to exit, my friend.
Yes.
But really quick.
This is going to be brief.
Well, we started late.
I know, we did. So WandaVision, the last episode.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow, man.
So she recast Pietro.
That was bonkers.
I immediately went, oh my gosh, they brought in the X-Men Quicksilver. The dude that plays Quicksilver from the X-Men movies, not the dude who played Quicksilver from the Marvel movies.
The scene where it's like, sweet dreams are made of this, and he
what is that? I don't even remember that.
He's listening to that song as the thing is blowing up.
I don't like that one as well as the first one, If I Could Keep Time in a Bottle.
If I could keep time in a bottle. And he's like running really fast and is like moving the bullet up like 1 inch.
So
and it's like moving the person's head.
I thought after watching this that Wanda is doing all this, but
I don't.
I went back and rewatched it. They never say
Wanda
is doing. They say she.
They say she is doing this.
And
so because we were on a different page about that, because I texted you about it and was like, Dad, this is bonkers. And Dad was like, oh, Wanda's doing it. Wanda's in charge of all of it. And I don't think she is.
No, and because she even says, do you know how hard it is to keep, I could do all of this? And there's no way she I guarantee you.
It's Agnes.
I think it's Agnes.
I saw a fan theory, and one person is hypothesizing that Mephisto,
who is Satan,
is doing all of this so that the different realms Wanda will accidentally go like, ah! And open all of the different realms to him.
Yeah, now they're calling it the Hex.
They called it the Hex, and I was like, oh, she's done been hexed. That's what happened. Her
hex magic, that's what they called her magic, was the hex power.
That's
what she has.
They called it the Hex, and I flipped out. I texted Dad. I was like,
we have 4 more episodes, Hannah. There are 4 more episodes. So I guarantee you that dude as Quicksilver isn't the end of what we're going to get.
I heard there are some theories right now that are like they're going to introduce Fantastic Four too, because John Krasinski has been.
There's no way it's going to be John Krasinski. They've been talking about him being Reed Richards forever. I don't see him being.
Big shrug, Dad. Big shrug. At this point,
I don't see that happening.
At this point,
I could see them bringing in Reed Richards because, like what you said, at one point Monica Rambeau says, "I have an astrophysicist. I have an aerospace engineer
who'd be all over this.
Who'd be all over this." She starts texting them, and
she texts
like,
the person. She
I
texts whoever it is.
I wonder if it'd be him or if it'd be Ben Grimm.
Dope if it's Ben Grimm. Bring him in, because then at the beginning of episode 4, the director, who is sus.
Well,
the director is sus.
The creator is a woman. Her name is Jack Schaefer. But the director
of Sword.
Oh, the director of Sword. That guy's bad.
The director of Sword is sus.
I don't even know what that means.
Suspicious.
Well, just say suspicious.
No, Dad.
I'm old.
Get with the lingo.
Well, but we only have like 6 listeners. Do they know what sus means?
Yes.
Is this an Among Us thing?
Yes.
All right.
He's
Oh, well.
sus. And Wanda came out there and was like, I don't know. And I saw this other thing. If you pause when Monica comes back and she does like the flashback, if you pause it at the right time, Monica has a flashback for something that hadn't happened yet.
Oh, well. I don't
Like
know.
a picture of Wanda in like regular everyday clothes that hadn't happened in the TV show yet.
I'm finding that your mom is less interested. She was more interested at the beginning when they
And
were
it was
like
just
really
cutesy.
fun, cutesy shows.
Yeah.
But now that there's the different intertwinings of the Marvel universe,
I can see that.
I'm hearing that from other people too. That people who are not deep into Marvel are now, which is funny because at the beginning, all the deep Marvelites were like, "This is terrible.
This
I'm
is
not
so
sticking with this."
dumb.
And now, now everybody's like, "Yes!" And now the people who are like, "Hey, I like this," are like going, "I don't know."
Yeah.
So you
I
can't please everybody.
the thing that made me so angry about the director is when you try to I texted you about this. I was like, he is looking for a person to be wrong rather than looking at the entire person and seeing how all of these experiences could be shaping her in a way that she's not trying to do anything bad, but that she's doing a bad thing.
Well, he doesn't care. His objective is to get the people who are captive out of there.
Are they they are captive at this point. We know that
Yes,
they're
they're captive. The
Did
dude
you
was like,
see-
"I need my phone. My dad is sick."
Did you see on the whiteboard? I don't know what his name is, Dad. I don't know. The other John Krasinski.
Jimmy Woo in real life
Yes.
is Agent Woo.
Agent Woo. On his billboard, the
Other
I'm glad you knew what I meant because I didn't
the
know what
other
his name
Jim.
was.
Guys, if you guys don't know, you should watch YouTube. Go to YouTube and look for Asian Jim The Office and watch that little clip. It is great.
It was really funny. Anyways, so Agent Woo, if you look at his whiteboard, like you can pause it and like read his whiteboard, he wrote audience ? And so a thought that someone else had is that there are all of these people that are just being mind controlled to like laugh on cue and like stuff
gotcha.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's a giant like place full of people, where's everyone else?
Where are the children? That's what Vision said.
That
where are the rest
is
of the kids?
creepy as heck. We
Where are the
know
rest of
that
the
she's
kids?
being manipulated to have Timmy and Bobby at this point. And then they like aged really fast. Wild. I think Agnes is doing it. And I think Agnes
find
killed
out.
the dog.
You think Agnes killed the dog?
I think Agnes killed the dog. I saw
Why?
another fan theory that
What would be
said
the
that
purpose of
Mephisto is a different animal in every episode.
Oh, well, that could be.
He was a lobster, and then the second one,
Cat or rabbit.
and then the crane. Because the crane, Wanda tried to use her
yes.
magic to make the crane go away, and the crane wouldn't go away. And then a
Yeah.
dog, and the kid said that they
I
heard
haven't-
the dog outside, and
I
that it
haven't
needed their help.
realized that there was a different animal each time. I never realized that.
So another
Did you
fan
notice
theory
that
is like, oh, it's an animal.
The go back and rewatch the commercial with the Lagos
was
paper
red.
towels. When you make mistakes that you don't intend to.
And she didn't.
So-
she didn't
So
mean
Lagos
to do that
is
in
the
Lagos. It was
city
an
in
accident.
Nigeria that is the people accidentally are killed, and
powers
the
are hard
people
for
people
her.
from Wakanda are killed there too, while they're trying to save people during Civil War. Yeah, when you make mistakes that you don't mean to,
Oh,
I was like, oh, that's so sad. Yeah.
we
All right, so I'm excited about every Friday. I'm
every
ready.
Friday.
I
we
used to
watch-
I haven't watched a TV show like this since probably The Voice. I watched it, but now
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian too.
I haven't watched a TV show like this.
Your
since The
sister hasn't watched
Mandalorian.
any of it.
She hasn't watched any of WandaVision. Miriam, have to
Yeah.
call her up.
I
Get
will
on to
call
her.
up and fuss
I'm
at her.
not gonna get on to
Anywho,
her. She's a grown woman. She can do what she wants.
Exactly. All right.
Well-
Well, that's all I got.
Dad.
Hannah, time to thank all the peeps.
Yes, Nathan. Thank you so much for my sweet brother, Dad's sweet son, Nathan Turner, for creating our art. He created it in Microsoft Paint. He's a king. We love him. And also, shout out to Brock Nason. Thanks for doing our intro music, Brockwell. Hey, if you're looking for something fun and new to listen to, he is releasing a cover of Driver's License that's going to come out on Spotify later this month. So you should
Well.
check that out because
Awesome.
I saw him do a live cover of it and it was phenomenal. So check that out. All of our research for what's happening in the news pretty much is done by Todd Turner. The editing is done by me, your dear friend, Hannah Turner.
Research. I'm glad we don't have fact checkers. They would be like just all over it.
We'd never be done. We're thankful for you, friends. Thanks for taking a second and hanging out with us.
That's right.
We appreciate it. Yeah.
That's all I've got.
That's all I've got.
Peace out. And
Peace
root
and
for
love,
the
my
Boston
dudes.
Rebels.
Boston Rebels for the big game, for the championship.
Experience the heat. Taste the magic. Bye, guys.
Okay, bye, sweet friends. Our lovely friends who have hung out with us on Facebook.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for
there.
hanging. We
No
appreciate
kidding.
it.
Sorry we were
and-
getting late getting started, but
we were late starting, but it's chill.
life,
Yeah.
right?
We'll
go.
see you all same bat place, same bat channel next Sunday.
That's right.
Bye.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.